to episode 6 of the short vid series, and today I want to talk about distributing your music on the internet. Now, for a goodly number of years there's been a ton of companies, and growing bigger every day, who are willing to take your music and put it onto platforms such as iTunes, all these other stores where people can go and stream and digitally download your music. SoundCloud is a good place, but it doesn't pay. Spotify will get you exposure, but the ratio of payment that you get back, you would need to be played a gazillion times before you even go a part of a halfpenny. That's how bad Spotify is. Spotify says that it gives unknown artists exposure, what it does, but the guy's not a dafty. He's raking in millions from all these undiscovered people around the world who must get on Spotify to get discovered. Now the thing is, this is a bit of a rant, okay? You can put your own tunes and songs onto all these platforms like iTunes and all the rest of them. You can put them on yourself, but it takes a long time. If you're willing to work at it, then you can put a bundle of your songs on each of these different streaming platforms, okay? Then you need, if you want to find out who's streaming your stuff, how much money you're making, and you get a collection agency to bring in your royalties. A royalty is basically the money that's owed to you each time a person listens to or plays your music or buys your music, okay? There's two types of royalties. There's live royalties, if you like. There's an organisation in the United Kingdom called the Performing Rights Society, and what they do is they're concerned with live venues that are playing covers of popular songs. So whichever songs are popular in the charts, if there was a band playing covers for instance, then they would need to pay so much to this organisation for playing that song because they're covering it. That's why they're called cover songs, okay? Then you get what's called the MCPS, the Mechanical Copyright Protection Society. They're interested in when your song is heard by mechanical means, i.e. a jukebox, if they still exist in certain cafes, radios, internets, all these kinds of things, any site that's digital and it's selling your stuff, or radios in cafes and things like that, they're concerned with finding out which stations are playing this and who's playing CDs and things like that. So they'll collect royalties from that. But again, all of these organisations want your money. Imagine music, your songs, as a huge big long trough like pigs would eat out of. And believe you me, there's plenty of pigs with their snouts in your musical trough. That's all your catalogue, your songs, your music, whatever style it might be, and you've got all these parasites with their noses in the trough taking your money for doing things that you could do yourself. I'm not saying you could do everything yourself because it would take up a hell of a amount of your time, but every organisation that you see out there, Ditto Music, RPS, TuneCore, all these types of things, they're all looking for money for you uploading singles, albums, stuff like that. They'll put them into the shops, but they want a percentage. Plus a lot of them have got hidden costs. They'll tell you there's no hidden costs, but there is always extras. So my point is this, because this is part of the short vid series. By the time all these wee piggy parasites have had their nose in your music trough, what's left for you? Buttons, a bag of rice, that's your lot. So think about it, don't just rush in blindly to these music digital distributors. Don't just rush in blindly to some of these other organisations, because all they want from you is your dosh. And these people are going to keep you poor while they get rich, because they are all the middlemen. And I would say to you, try and do as much as you can DIY. In other words, do it yourself. You'll need to wear lots of hats. You know, you'll need to be an accountant, watch after your money. You'll need to have spreadsheets, knowledge of that. You'll need to have tax knowledge, because you've got to pay the tax man. If you're doing it online, they want to know everything. So you better pay them as well. But you can, to an extent, cut out a lot of these parasitical middlemen by doing the stuff yourself. So my rant is this. Musicians need to eat the same as anybody else. They need to make money the same as anybody else. But there's no level playing field. If you phone a plumber or a joiner or an electrician or some other tradesman, they want paid by the hour for their services, for their expertise. They'll do your job and they'll either say, right, it's going to cost X amount, or I charge X per hour. There's nothing like that in music. You can't regulate it the same, because you don't know how many people are going to buy your album, buy your EP, buy your CD, or stream it, and you don't know where they are, who they are, or whatever. But again, if you search on the net, there are certain companies that will do searches for you. It might be worthwhile going to some of these companies and signing up if they're not too expensive. Forget the digital distributors, because sometimes I think it's more hassle with them, because they've always got wee hidden clauses where they can claw away at your money and you're left with bugger all. So that's my advice to you. Be careful before you dive into anything on the net, whether it be a record label, a publisher, a TV deal, a film deal, whatever. Make sure you do your homework. Make sure that you've sat for a good week or two or more, whatever the case may be, and plough that bloody internet. Find out as much as you can about who's doing this and who's doing that and how much they charge. At the end of the day, you might decide to go with Ditto or RPS or TuneCore or some of these other companies, but that's entirely up to you. But I simply say this: do your homework, and if you're diligent, then you stand less chance of being ripped off. Okay, that's my rant for the day. I hope it's been of service to you, and I'll see you soon.